Hey, so back here, going to do another video, and this one here is just kind of a request with some questions and stuff from somebody that watches. Got the questions wrote down. I was gonna look at them with my phone. My phone's like so old, I can't get on the YouTube app, uh, so that's why I always use the iPad now and read them off. So, anyways, I just jotted down the cliff notes and stuff here, so hopefully I get everything. And yeah, it's a good topic. So if any of you guys have any questions or anything like that, especially like with smoking and stuff, well, anything really that I talk about, it all makes good shit to talk about. Because I mean, in all honesty, with the whole doing the YouTube stuff, I just have fun doing it. I'm in my little spinny chair, so whenever I'm talking, this is way whenever I was doing, doing them online calls. That job I had, sitting there spinning, my headset on, smoking a cigarette the whole time. But yeah, so anyways, uh, yeah, so I don't know if they wanted me to shout out the username. I'll do it. But anyways, it was 2000-T8F, I believe it was. I wrote it in print, dude. I always write everything in cursive. I don't know why I wrote that in print. So is it an F or a T? But anyways, so yeah, it's just kind of about my history with smoking. So just to start from the very beginning, and I mentioned it in whenever I commented back to him, and which, by the way, just smoking a Rolly today, nothing special. Still got to do that Rolly setup thing though, which I'll be excited for. I think about it now every time I roll them, shooting that video for you guys. But anyways, I was going through, like, say, trying to dig this shit out of my memory. There was 2 times that I remember smoking. I can't remember exactly which was the first one. I want to say that it was my buddy, and I don't know how old we were, probably like early middle school or something. And early middle school, my buddy, his grandma smoked, and he lived with his grandma, and he just lived like next street down and stuff. So me, him, and this other guy, his parents would bring him over and stuff. We'd go really just walking around, riding bicycles. I mean, it's small town, there ain't shit to do. You know what I'm saying? We're lucky to have a fucking Walmart here. Um, but anyways, but there was a creek. It's probably a good mile or two walk. I don't even know. It's been a while. And anyways, he would steal one, and then we'd go down there and do like the puff puff give, just pass it around and stuff like that. And I remember they fucking slobbering all over it. It's crazy, dude. Marlboro Lights, and pretty sure she always got them in the soft pack. Don't quote me on that one though. And that, I believe, was my first time smoking. Now, it could be swapped with this one though. Went to one of my buddy's house one time. It's the only time I ever went there. And this, again, was middle school, right? He had like a little cabin and shit, right? Well, he's all his parents and stuff, right? And anyways, we rode four-wheelers up there to it. And anyways, up in the rafters, he had like a pack of cigarettes and stuff. It was a Marlboro Reds. It was in the box. I remember that for sure. And he gave me one. And I wasn't, it took me a little bit to smoke it right, because I was just doing the, you know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, dude, you gotta inhale it. I did it. I remember coughing a little bit. I remember tasting so good. That's one thing that I'll get into in a minute. Taste of cigarettes. Because it goes along with something else. And also what I just did will go along with something else. So, but those was just like, the cabin experience was a one-time deal, and then the Marlboro Lights down by the creek, that was 2 or 3 times, maybe 4, something like that. it wasn't a lot. Um, I remember there though it was getting to a point where he was trying to steal like 2 or 3 cigarettes, and she's starting to notice and shit. And I remember she's all, "You're stealing my cigarette." She's crazy. She's crazy, motherfucker, dude. I'm gonna make a video dedicated to that sometime. Because some of the craziest shit. I mean, here's the thing. I didn't realize how much crazy shit that I've experienced, like funny crazy, right? Like stupidity crazy that I've been around until I start telling these stories to like other people, like just for conversation, and they're like jaws are on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just weird. But it's all like stupid stuff. But anyways, talk about that the other day. But as far as like and this here is it goes along with one other story. Me and my buddy, the same one that's stealing it from his grandma. We was going to goddamn the Family Dollar because it was like he was this street, I was this street, Family Dollar was that street, right? So we group up and we go there. Back in the day, you could buy like a whole wad of like tea bags for like $1 or $2 or something like that. And sometimes they'd sell you lighters, sometimes they wouldn't. So we was buying tea bags and um, cutting them open and putting them in notebook paper and rolling up to smoke fucking tea bags or tea leaves and shit, right? Um, this chair, bro, it's got a lot of squeaking, so sorry about that. But anyways, I don't know if that counts. This is like kid shit though too. But as far as actually smoking, I never started till I was 18, which at the time, and as far as I know, because I learned this after I made a comment in another video, I'm pretty sure it's all across America that you have to be 21 to buy cigarettes now, okay? Grab some water. So, is 18 at the time that you could legally, okay? And I've been around, a lot of my family like smokes and stuff like that, and of course my parents didn't. My dad used to. He had a bunch of like old lighters and stuff like that. He still has a pack. It's upstairs at their house, and it's a black pack, and it has like the gold like Harley Davidson logo, and it's got like gold writing and stuff. It's actually Harley Davidson branded cigarettes, and from what I remember, there was a brand of cigarettes that turned into it was actually the Harley Davidson cigarettes, and they turned into something else, and like the same cigarettes, they just changed it because they just dropped the licensing or whatever, right? And I forgot what it was. I should have tried to remember that before this video, but it was a cheaper pack too that I was getting for a little bit. Can't remember. Anyways, though, and he had a bunch of like the cool lighters, because yeah, there was Zippos, but there's a lot of just like other lighters that do all kinds of weird shit. It's cool. But anyways, though, so I was 18. First pack I ever bought by myself was Marlboro Reds in the box. I would have bought the soft pack had I known what I know now. I'm a huge soft pack fan. The reason being, while you're driving, after you've got like 1 or 2 out there, it's a little bit loosened up, you can take the pack. I'll get one of these days, whatever I can find that's still soft pack. I just see my cousin smoking Kentucky's Best Reds in the soft pack the other day, so I know that they've still got them. Basically, you turn it up like this, you get one, drops out, it's in your fingers, like this, boom. You know what I'm saying? You do it one-handed, you ain't got to sit there and wiggle and pull out and do the whole thing, So, big soft pack fan. But anyways, and whenever I bought them at the time, they was just a little bit under $5. So, and Marlboro's about 10 now, where I'm at, right? So they've literally doubled. Of course, everything has is crazy. This whenever I was 18, and I just turned 28. So I remember it was hot outside, so it would have been probably summertime or something like that. But before I did that, though, before I was fucking around with cigarettes, whenever I was 18, I've been buying a little bit of dip there because I was dipping for a little bit, and of course I dipped some like in fucking middle school and stuff around a little bit, but I was starting to get into it whenever I was 18. I remember I got at a gas station whenever I was driving up to another town for a job I worked for a little bit over the summer. White Castle, actually. Um, the meat's real. I was having this conversation with my wife today at White Castle. It actually comes pink, and you got to cook it, right? So, I don't know if anybody didn't know that, but it's a good place to work because you can actually eat all that you want there. Like a lot of restaurants, if you work at them, they don't let you have like one thing a day or a little something other. Whenever I was at a pizza joint, they don't let you have just like one of the little mini pizzas and stuff. But of course, there's always like fuck ups on orders you can get. But like White Castle, you could eat as much. You get the milkshakes, you can do everything. Only thing is though, you got to cook it for yourself. I wasn't there long enough to learn how to cook anything. I dropped that shit because I was just doing lawn mowing and going to college and shit too. It's a long line. I'll talk about the job shit another day, and I have before, briefly on some of that stuff. Anyways, I just can't work for other people, guys. But only for myself. Hair's a fucking mess, so as always. But anyways, so yeah, I would. I was dipping a little bit. I decided to buy a pack of cigarettes. I bought it at this old country store, middle of fucking nowhere. So it was actually probably a little bit higher. I probably could have got it for like closer to $4.50 at some of these other places. But anyways, I was there. I went in there with my buddy because he's bought like a fucking Uncrustable or some shit, right? But anyways, though, so then I did that. I think the second pack I ever bought was at a gas station near my parents' house. It was Winston Lights. This is whenever I was still figuring out cigarettes and stuff like that. I've only ever bought Winston Lights one other time. Best I remember, they were decent for lights, guys. So, yeah, so I just started kind of exploring. And at the time, too, is I was watching some YouTubers to try to figure out, like, what's the best shit. I was still dipping along with cigarette smoking. It wasn't until about 3 years ago that I just started doing strictly smoking. And the reason I done that was just because that's whenever I started that online job where I was having to talk all the time. I having to talk whenever, you know what I'm saying, whenever you get a big dip in and stuff like that. And I was spitting and shit. It just wasn't working. So cigarettes just easier. And I've actually got 2 cans of dip. They're probably old, but they're still sealed. Copenhagen, just like long cut, the original. It's got the little fiberboard bottom and stuff. Shit's good. And of course, Grizzly Wintergreen, the OG redneck dip, whatever. They're good. And I love chew as well. It's like just putting a whole box of snack cakes in your mouth, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't fuck with that just because I love it too much, right? Like it's cigarettes to me is like black coffee, right? It's an acquired taste, but it's a good taste at the same time. Goddamn ladybug. They're trying to come in. I'm in the upstairs right now, so it's cold outside. That's why I didn't shoot this video outside. It's like 10 degrees. So for my, I know I got at least one UK guy who watches some. So I'd be like 22 degrees below freezing. He's on the Celsius, but anyways. So yeah, just over the time, kind of continually buying different stuff. And I was watching some YouTube guys. Nick the Smoker, I remember I was watching him a lot. He had a lot of really good content and stuff like that. He seemed like a pretty cool dude too. Him mostly. And I was kind of fucking around with some of these other guys. There's this one guy, I can't remember his name. He's kind of chubby and bald. I remember he had a GMC Caballero. if that's how you pronounce it. But GMC version of an El Camino, which El Caminos are my favorite cars, trucks or whatever you want to say. They're on a car chassis though, right? But I was honestly unaware that GMC ever made a version of it, right? So, which I don't know why I would have thought, because they make versions of all the shit. I mean, it's all the same shit, right? But anyways, though, so he was cool. There's one guy I think from England I watched called like RJ the Smoker. I think he died of smoking, or supposedly whatever. I'll get into that too. But so yeah, just trying out different stuff. And one of the things that I settled on that I was smoking kind of consistently there for a while, Kentucky's Best Lights whenever I was in the light kick, and then also Kentucky's Best Reds, just because they was cheap, they was decent. You get them in soft pack, right? Then Winston Blacks, when they was first coming out with them, you could buy them a lot of time, like cheap as fuck if you bought 2 at a time. And yeah, I think whenever, like say, my wife was kind of starting to smoke, she smoked for a while too. Of course, she stopped whenever found out she's pregnant and everything, of course. And she hasn't since, like tobacco, cigarettes, and stuff, anyways. And she really liked the Marlboro Midnights. It's basically if you took a Southern cut and put a little bit of menthol to it, it's kind of dark chocolatey, dark chocolate mint flavored. She said that they changed them, and I don't even know if they make them anymore. I've got an old pack around here somewhere, because we made like this, took like a picture frame, had like some that was it fiberboard or some shit you can push pins into, and we hung a bunch of different packs of cigarettes and stuff in it. One kind of cigarette I've never got to try yet though, that I've always wanted to, I just haven't. It's Camel Wides. Really want to try the menthol ones actually, especially nowadays. But anyways, I keep rambling on this side stuff, but just to kind of get back to it, that's whenever I started, yeah, and then that was yeah, just kind of the stories about how it was. So I've just been smoking since I was 18, right? As legal age, I was 21 whenever they changed it to 21, and so I was still good. Friends and family reactions. Okay, so at the time, friends didn't really give a fuck or anything like that. I mean, the majority of them smoked weed and stuff, which I tried it and stuff. That's not for me though. So I didn't care or judge. Some of them smoked as well, mostly like just when homies were around or whenever I was around to bum one off of and shit. We used to go and play poker in one of my buddies' like lawnmower sheds. His dad's lawnmower shed. His dad passed away, then he started playing it. And anyways, they'd be like 4 or 5 of us in there, and it was usually the smokers that were in there, except for one guy, which was the one I made that video about. He was the one talking about how he was gonna vibe forever and stuff. Of course, his mom smoked and stuff like that, and his whole time growing up, and his dad did, so he didn't give a fuck. But he was always the driver. He was always running around and stuff. And but some of the rest of us there at the time, we'd all be in there smoking and stuff, and it was just like Cheech and Chong open up the door, and it's like big cloud and shit like that. It's crazy, you know. But yeah, so there's that. Friends didn't really care. Which, if someone's really your friend, this goes into a much deeper topic. If someone's really your friend, they're not going to give a fuck, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it if, like, your friend doesn't want you smoking in their house or in their car, maybe, because that's kind of like their shit. But, like, if you're just around them and smoking or something like that, they're not really your friend, which I'll get into that a little bit more later. Family reactions. As far as the only people that gave a fuck was, like, my immediate family. And obviously, like, my parents don't like it and stuff like that. But my parents didn't really know until probably about 5 or 6 years ago or something like that. Uh, I can't remember. Like, they's always like, oh, you don't need to be smoking, that's bad for you and shit. But at the end of the day, though, it's one of those things. They're not gonna stop loving you. I mean, and it doesn't even fucking matter. Like, this is your life. You're a fucking adult. Do it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like drinking. Fuck, you're 21 now. You to be able to legally buy them and shit, right? So, uh, I still get carded most of the time that I'm going in anywhere. Um, unless it's tobacco shop, they kind of remember me, because I'm the only person that gets a certain combo of shit. So, um, for the rolling backer, but anyways, though, yeah, they don't like it. Oh, it's bad for you. Don't do it. Da, 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 da. But whatever. It wasn't like a big ordeal or rift in the family or anything like that. I was smoking in their house or in their car. I got outside and spoke. You know, whatever. It's no biggie. And yeah, how much I smoke? I'd say a pack to a pack and a half a day. That's how everything stands now, though. Now, whenever I was working that construction job, especially, I was smoking a hell of a lot more. What I would do is I would have this, which holds 14 rolled cigarettes, and I'd have that with me. And then I would also take a sandwich bag that I would put like however many I felt like rolling, right? If it was an extra 8 or 10 or something like that, in like a little Ziploc bag, and I'd keep that in my pocket too, because I was going through them like a motherfucker. So I was smoking a lot more there. And also, before I bought this house, I rented a trailer for a year, which they didn't care if you smoked in there. And anyways, I was working at the pizza place at that time, and I was working on second shift, so I was getting home midnight-ish. And anyways, me and my wife stay up like 3 or 4 in the morning watching anime, playing video games and shit, and sitting there smoke cigarettes. So we just we was always chiefing, bro. Like chiefing at work, chiefing at home, da 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 da. I mean, here where I'm at now, I don't smoke downstairs. I only smoke upstairs or outside. Um, Reason being, like say, just got the baby and everything like that. Used to, we would go to like the bathroom and smoke in there, or the laundry room, because it's got some easy windows to open up and stuff, filter out a little bit. But yeah, don't down there, just like in the kitchen, living room, bedroom area, because of the baby and stuff. And just kind of keeps everything smelling a little bit better. So, especially these rollies, they definitely stank a little bit more. But I started rolling cigarettes whenever I did move to that trailer to rent for a year. Whenever I was 21, I started doing it just because it's like way fucking cheaper. Even today, with how the prices are and stuff, probably on the high end, and I'm super high end, $1 a day. So I don't feel bad if I'm having to throw out like half a cigarette or something, like if I'm in a hurry and whatever, you know. So super cheap, comparatively, you know. But I'll even smoke part of the filter on packs I buy, you know, because I mean it's just high as fuck. So there's that. And if I'm outside working all day and stuff like that too, or if I've got to get up super early and go run to town, run a bunch of errands and stuff, which I will smoke my own vehicles and stuff too. We've got 4 whips, and 3 of them is old enough that they've got cigarette lighters and ashtrays in them. One of them doesn't have cup holders though, that's how old it is. Or a passenger side view mirror. They're barely fuel injected, so one of them's got ashtrays in the back seats. That's cool as fuck. That way your kids smoke too or whatever, you know. I love that shit. I love cigarette cars, you know. But anyways, though, yeah, if I'm going out doing a lot of shit, though, smoke a little bit more. Sometimes a little more, a little less. It's cold as fuck. I'm not smoking a whole lot. You know, I'm just down there roasting myself. I don't even think about it, you know. Any nose defects, good or bad. So I'll start off with the bad. And I've always had these like dark lines here. I know some people said like they get that or whatever from smoking. I've had these ever since I was a kid, bro. I remember some dude when I was in like fucking second or third grade. He's like, "Dude, are you putting makeup on?" It's like, "Nah, bro. I'm just always look like sick as fuck." um, but yeah, so yeah, bad that cough you get a little bit. Um, that's that's bad, right? Um, but to counter that though, never had any real big like issues or anything with that. There's just that, right? Um, Another thing is though too, um, that's bad. I mean, stained fingers. You can kind of tell comparatively. It's my smoking hand primarily. Um, I don't know if that bothers you. Um, don't ever tell your insurance company or healthcare any of that shit. They ask you if you smoke. Don't ever say that you do, because they'll raise that shit up. It'll make it higher on you. So just don't ever say that. Uh, I always say no, I don't smoke. So I mean, I have a pack of cigarettes in my pocket here and shit like that. They ask you if you smoke. Nah, bro. They never ask any questions. I mean, that's what I'm saying. They're just doing their job, they're just writing shit down. So don't ever tell them that. They'll raise your rates up. Um, Having to spend money on it. That's bad. Um, yeah, I mean that's about it. Yeah, I guess the other thing is bad. Sometimes you need a cigarette, but you just can't get one because you're maybe if you got like kids, you're running around or doing something, you just ain't got time for it right there. You know, you get the hankering a little bit. That's bad. I used to have to go and do like these classes and shit, like CDL stuff. Um, and yeah, I was buying those Rogue, like snus dip things, but you ain't got spit. I was sneaking a horseshoe with them in whenever I'd be in those. And if one of those little things ever busts on you, dude, it's gonna like freak you out. I remember I was in there, I was like, oh shit. And it, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't ever nibble on them or in your mouth. Uh, so that's bad. As far as good effects, the number one good effect I've had from smoking cigarettes, I always call it my bullshit filter. If someone's gonna judge you for smoking, or if they're gonna like be a bitch about it, I mean, essentially, then fuck them. They're not anybody you're gonna want to be around, right? Whenever I was working that construction job, I mentioned this before. These are all grown ass guys. Half of them has smoked at some point in their fucking life, right? All but just a couple of them, about three of them, 3 to 4. They hear me in the back seat because I was young when I was in the back seat. You know what I'm saying? The crew cab was going out to mow or something. Flip the Zippo open, light one up. All the windows went down. You know what I'm saying? Not just mine, but all of them. Or they're always like, "Oh God, you're gonna have to smoke. We're gonna have to drive, and we're gonna have to smell cigarettes." It's like, of course, I do it just to annoy them. I'd be in the. They have no smoking signs all around the garage and shit, and and they're lighting one up. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. But reason being, the assistant foreman, he's cool. He'd bum cigarettes off of me every now and again. He smoked with me, and then there's a couple black dudes and stuff like that. They smoked and shit. Like they wasn't buying packs to smoke, but they'd bum one smoke off of it once in a while just to smoke with you. You know, so uh, scratching my leg. But yeah, I always call it my bullshit filter though. You get a lot of people whining, bitching about it and stuff like that. It's how you know that they're just a complete like NPC normie. Okay, cigarettes have been scapegoated. and this is where I want to get into this. And I'll go into more depth in another video at some point. But basically, cigarettes, yes, they are bad for you, but they are not anywhere near as bad for you as people make it out to be. Okay, um, there's a lot of factors that will go into like the lung cancer, which is the big deal and stuff like that, right? I know all kinds of people that are like old as fuck, um, that have been smoking since they was like 10 or 12 years old or some bullshit and stuff, you know, and still smoking to this day. My neighbor down the road, um, he's like 70 something, has been smoking forever. He's always smoking. I mean, he just, you know, no issues, no cough, just no cough, nothing. He's just chilling. The only person I know that truly died of cigarette smoking, um, he was smoking 5 packs a day and did that like since he was like 10 or some shit, right? Um, so I mean, it's one of those things like an excess of anything will fuck you up. Um, one of the second, also like the mouth cancer thing and stuff like that. Sometimes they claim that alcohol has like a way higher chance of getting mouth cancer. Which not saying alcohol is like bad for you, anyways. I always relate smoking cigarettes to fast food, right? I have this happen to me all the time. It even happened to me last time I bought that. Oh fuck, what was it? It was that wasn't the basics. It was the Marlboro Blacks. I did that video on. Some fat old woman uh, who was running the cigarette counter at Walmart there. It's like, oh, you don't need bottle cigarettes. So yeah, you know, it's like, shut the fuck up, okay? You're fat. Like that's what I'm saying. Is like the people that will oftentimes criticize you the most for smoking have a health issue themselves, right? And I, you know, here's the thing: I'm not fat shaming or hating on anybody for being fat, but it's like at the same point, don't shit on me for what I do because look at yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're doing something to yourself too, right? And theoretically, if you smoked a pack of cigarettes a day, or if you know, ate fast food every day, I can 100% promise you with what I feel in my heart and know, cigarette smokers are going to live a lot longer. So just something, cigarette, like I say, cigarette companies were scapegoated, and this happens with things all the fucking time. Over and over with different businesses and stuff like that. It's how the corporate world works, right? They say, oh, well, we're taking care of your health because we're advising against this thing now. And at some point, it's going to get to a point where everybody realizes that fast food is just complete fucking ass for you. And then they're going to be like, okay, actually, we did a bunch of studies and fast food bad for you. Now, here's the thing, though. You can physically see on people that all this food that they're eating is bad for them, you know, and not just to harp on that, but here's the thing though, a lot of times, like people say, like if you're a welder or something like that, um, not a welder, but can make two pieces stick together, okay? I do have a welder, but if you're breathing in that shit all day long versus being a smoker, I guarantee you that welder's gonna get fucked up more, you know, like a lot quicker, because that's a lot of heavy metals that's going into your lungs and stuff like that. And also, I think that there's going to be different levels of cigarettes that are going to be better or worse for you. Obviously, the more natural, clean stuff with a filter is going to be better. Um, but I'll go in a more deep dive at some point about this. I know a lot of people are worried about the adverse effects of cigarettes and stuff like that. And I'm here to tell you guys, in all fucking honesty, in excess of literally anything is going to be bad for you. But at the same point, doing something here and there, or even just kind of, you know, just normally smoking and stuff like that, like here and there, you're going to be fine. I mean, statistically speaking, there's going to be some anomalies, and there's a lot more that will go into this if you're talking even like on a spiritual sense. Tobacco brown. Brown is a grounding color for your aura, your biofield, whatever you want to say. Um, if you live in an area where there is 5G towers and shit like that, and you have cell phone signal where you live, or you have Wi-Fi, your aura biofield is being tapped into, your DNA is being broken down just by existing there. You're getting radiation. Um, Supposedly, an X-ray equals to 3 days exposure, just normally to all this or whatever, right? So therefore, your DNA is constantly being broken down, and your cells are being manipulated and things like that. So I mean, we could get into like a whole fucking thing about, yes, cigarettes are not healthy, but don't shit on me for what I do comparatively to all these other things. Most people won't understand that though. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Um, so, is what it is. Bullshit filter keeps fake motherfuckers away from you. Okay. Um, I mean, I guess this is kind of good. You know, they're about 3.5 years ago, I got really big into like running and stuff like that. And whenever I was doing that, I've had the most wind I've ever had. I felt the best, like cardio wise, that I ever had. And I mean, no issues. Been smoking 6.5, 7 years at that point, right? So, there's that as well. um, oh yeah, another thing that's good about it, if you meet some other people that's smoking, like say if you're working at a job, you're going out to get a cigarette, and you got a cigarette break with somebody else, it gives you a little bit of quiet time to yourself. You're chilling, or excuse me, if you are with somebody else, then it's kind of like a moment to just kind of reflect and chill and just hit that vibe a little bit. Um, I mean, coffee and cigarettes is the number one combo to getting shit done. Um, Wake your ass up. Um, like I say, keep you going. We was working them like 12-hour snowplow shifts and stuff when I was at that construction job and stuff. And like I say, black coffee, cigarettes, monsters, rock stars, lived off that shit, you know. Gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, like I say, just kind of chills you out. You get to have a moment, enjoy yourself, treat yourself. You deserve it, type thing. Um, Same way, sneaking out somewhere after you've been around a bunch of people or something like that. You just need a break. Go out, like I say, treat yourself, have a cigarette, calm back down, chill, go back inside. You're ready to go. Like I say, it's very grounding. Like tobacco is like really symbolic and stuff like that. It's used a lot of times as offerings to the dead if you're fucking around with spirituality and stuff like that. Um, Also, it's been used spiritually for a long fucking time. Um, so I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot more to it. And at the end of the day, it is a plant, you know. So the problem is, though, a lot of times with cigarettes they put extra shit in it, and it kind of, like in theory, a piece of meat ain't that bad, right? But if it's a cheeseburger from a cow that's got the corn tube stuck in its belly or something like that, it probably ain't gonna be as good as Joe Blow's cow out in the field running around eating grass all day, right? Like, so. But anyways, God damn, this video's taking a long time. I love this topic though. This is a great question. So, sorry if this is long as fuck and you have to watch it in parts if you even do. So, but anyways, shout out to him for good content here, I guess. Plans to quit. So, I do plan on quitting at some point, but I'm not going to quit until I feel as if I'm ready. I'm not ready now. I've got a lot of stressful shit out in my life. And the only reason that I would be quitting is just so I do feel as if I did quit, I would have a little bit more wind given the opportunity. But at the same point, though, I've got more wind than most people just laying on their ass all day, right? So, uh, obviously, want to get healthier and more. Like, I want to eat healthier too, right? Cut out smoking and eat healthier and stuff, and get more. Like, I'm kind of skinny and everything, but more lean and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, just at some point, don't know when that'll be. Don't have any plans. Now, whenever I do quit, here's a tip for anybody that is trying to quit. Do it when you're sick, right? You get sick, you don't feel like eating, you don't feel like smoking. At least to me, you just feel like laying around by the wood stove and chilling and watching TV or something, you know. Um, so, and then you've already been quit for a couple days, 2 or 3 days, however long you're sick, you know. And then time you feel like getting a cigarette again. A lot of times you got like some shit in your lungs and stuff too. And I always have, whenever I get over a sickness, my two things I crave is Cool Greens and Long John Silvers. So, but I feel like it'd be pretty easy to quit, like after you've done been sick, because you're just not feeling it anyways, you know. Because you've already made it past that, like, oh fuck, I gotta have a threshold and stuff, and right. And you always have that little bit of like, excuse me, excitement after you've quit. Excuse me, after you get done being sick, you're like, wow, I haven't been able to do shit for a few days. Now I'm able to do shit. I'm happy, happy go lucky. So that's what I would do. I would do it whenever you get done being sick. Um, Concerns for health. Other than just having less wind than I may be able to have, um, I mean, that's really it. I don't even know that for sure. There's this bodybuilder, some German guy or whatever. There's a funny video of him. He's like jacked as fuck, and it's him out in the parking lot just like chiefing like crazy. You know, there's a lot of like wrestlers and stuff like that that smoked that I heard about back in the day. Um, all your blue collar worker motherfuckers, well, a decent amount of them are smoking. They're working hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, so. Um, Yeah, don't really have any concerns of health. Like, I don't smoke enough to be concerned. If I was smoking 5 packs a day, like lighting them, that guy literally, I mean, he's very close to me. I even share a tattoo and stuff of one that he had. He's an old feller. Passed away whenever I was younger. But he's lighting them like off the end of one another. But he also ate Dairy Queen every day for supper. So, you know, um, that couldn't have helped. But point is, though, is yeah, just he also like drinking alcohol a lot. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I know he did have some type of lung cancer, but that wasn't what truly killed him, actually. But anyways, that's what I'm saying. It's like if you can't even fully kill somebody, like literally lighting them off the end of one another. You know what I'm saying? Like fully. So no, I don't have any concerns or anything like that. Other than being able to have a little bit more wind, I can still breathe all the way through, and yeah, I mean that's about it. That's about it. So I mean, obviously, there's going to be more valuable sources of information out there than me on this, but just me personally, because I kind of went through that whole like I was smoking. So they make it out like if you're smoking a cigarette, you might as well be shooting heroin, right? Like it's 100% not the case. So I mean, I would even make the argument that cigarette smoking may even be healthier for you than weed and vaping. I don't know this for no fact or anything like that, but I can smoke cigarettes all day long, be chill, not have that big like coughing thing, you know. But whenever I smoke weed, big coughing thing, and every time I hit a vape, you gotta have that big coughing fit and everything every time you hit it. So I don't know, but I'm not a weed or vape guy, so I can't say for sure. But if they're ripping your lungs, they can't be good for it, right? So, but yeah, so hopefully this answered all your questions. 45-minute video. Wow, that's crazy, dude. But anyways, appreciate the comment. If you watch this whole thing, anybody, cool as fuck. But yeah, take it easy and see y'all in the next one.